Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Star Citizen is building an expansive reputation system that's going to help flesh out the game's missions, factions, locations. It's going to be a major driving factor for the gameplay and progression for the game, and it's going to also allow you a lot of benefits. But there was a reputation system Ask Me Anything for the devs that have been working on the reputation system and continue to work on the reputation system, with Star Citizen backers asking a variety of questions, and I want to summarise and go through a load of these answers. Will the reputation system allow players to unlock faction exclusive ships and items? What we've been talking about a lot lately is what rewards will be associated with each org and reputation track, at which ranks these type of things will be rewarded. One of the things we've discussed is things like unlocking an org's or faction that you're doing a mission with, paint and tint colours. So you'd potentially be able to unlock microtech colours by doing missions with microtech, maybe when you got to a certain rank. Now there is going to be various sort of different pathways that you could go with each sort of faction. Maybe with microtech you do bounty hunting, but you could do delivery missions for them, and they might do it so that there are variants of these skins and paints, but also they probably will unify something that once you get to a certain rank, bam, you've unlocked the basic paint for that faction. You go, this is the standard faction colours that we award to anyone that gets to this rank at any form of microtech mission. As for access to other items, and shops specifically, they plan on having items in shops with purchasable requirements shown to players as they revamp their shopping experience. So you're going to see reputation specific items in inventory, but as an example, you'd see required microtech rep rank 8. Before you could actually physically purchase it. Later iterations of the Reputation Manager has a rewards tab that they'd like to add, so they're going to work out and catalogue exactly what rewards you'll get for each rank and what the benefits are for each rank, and you'll see what you've got all unlocked and that sort of stuff. So that's on a list of things that they'd like to put in, and as they enhance the system you will see that in the future. Will NPCs react and comment on reputation of your character and the uniforms and sort of clothing that you're wearing? So if you're wearing a Crusader Security shirt, they'll go, hey, you're Crusader Security. Yeah, that is something that Chris Roberts has directly mentioned in more than one design discussion. He always wanted this level of minutiae built into AI responses and reactions from NPCs in general. How else would you be able to sneak into a military base that you're not authorized to be at, or more likely to get past a bouncer at a high-end nightclub? You're going to have to look the part. The tint system will be key in some of these endeavours. Just buying a really nice or grungy set of clothing might be the key to others. This level of detail is going to take some time to build into the game, but once they get the faction system and NPC hostility converted over to be much more reputation orientated, this will be simply a matter of time before that's in-game. There wouldn't be any major tech blockers that prevent that level of implementation. It does come down to priorities exactly when it will be in-game though, so we'll have to wait and see in the future when that sort of starts to be implemented. Are there going to be additional other perks for working with certain sort of organisations and working down certain paths for careers? Will high reputation with bounty hunting allow us to bring guns into an area or go into restricted areas? Reputation with bounty hunting guilds will, they hope, allow for more exciting things like being able to carry a non-lethal weapon inside rest stops and such. But yes, it's going to allow you to enter some trespass areas. The current implementation of trespass zones is temporary, so they currently give you like a crime stat when you go in there, and the defenses turn hostile and put up a fight. Pew, 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 pew. They're working on a security system which, amongst other things, will allow players to trespass in a zone and only receive a crime stat if spotted, arrested or killed there by appropriate defences or security there. Will some ships and systems be locked behind a reputation wall? They're looking at a gate to many things in-game, both items and ships, behind the reputation system. Reputation is the most significant, or at least one of the most significant ways of progressing in the game. There's no leveling system in Star Citizen, so they're looking to get lots of different reward mechanisms hooked into the game moving forward. But you're going to see sort of large-scale hauling missions likely be gated behind reputation or org membership or something like that. So there is going to be, well, we're not going to trust you with this giant freighter or this huge amount of cargo until you've proven yourself a bit to be trusted with cargo. The topic of org membership is not finalised, so they're going to share more concrete plans in the future. Star systems are unlikely to be locked by reputation though, or hard locked by reputation. They don't sort of really see that at the moment. How important is reputation to progression in the game? Can I just do my own thing? Do I have to work with all these other orgs? Reputation will be one of the main progression gates, meaning to get the biggest rewards, you're likely going to have to work your way through the ranks with orgs. You're always free to mine, trade, salvage, etc. But if you build reputation with orgs, you'll be able to sell for more when you actually sell that gear or loot or minables, or skip the queue, etc. There's going to be other benefits. And there will be plenty of content found out in the sandbox, which will provide opportunities outside of quests and such. Things like encounters players can come across which may have nothing to do with their reputation, or may be affected by their reputation. Let's take an example of a Kovalex convoy being attacked by Ninetales. You might instinctively try to protect the convoy and unwittingly receive reputation with the org for doing so, whilst also taking a hit with the Ninetales. Next time you come across this encounter, due to your low rep with the Ninetales, they might prioritise you as a target. Can you tell us about reputation and possible interaction with player orgs? We've discussed two primary interactions between player orgs and reputation quite heavily. One, the first is player orgs having a reputation, much like a player can, with other NPCs and orgs and all that sort of stuff. The answer to this one is a resounding yes. Barring unforeseen future complications, the framework we have implemented allows for this, and we plan to do this. 2. The other interaction is allowing for player orgs to set up their own rules for a reputation that players can earn. While the reputation system is built to allow for it, at current we don't plan for this. How do you plan to avoid reputation grind? This is a tricky one, since grind has one heck of a negative connotation, rightfully so in most cases. Just a BoredGamer thing here. I don't agree with that. I think that you can actually have quite fun grind, and you could see doing general missions and playing the game every day as a grind, or working towards something as a grind. Maybe the word has a negative connotation, but not to me. I used to play Eve. Anyway, the reputation system is built to have very long-term goals, which does mean you will need to play the game for a long time to achieve the high tiers, and that's sort of a grind. We want players to have long-term goals they can work towards. Our goal, thus, isn't to avoid any grind, it's to avoid a bad one. What I mean by a bad grind is anything that forces you to do boring, repetitive gameplay. To avoid this in the future, all we have in the game right now is definitely repetitive, we know. We have a few different things planned. 1, the various sandbox elements of the game. 2, allowing for different solutions to the same mission. 3, encouraging more player interactions, both friendly and foe, by having missions collide more, so, you know, having counter missions and all that sort of stuff. 4, dynamically created missions that pick from a pool of mission pieces so that even the base mission is different most of the time. And 5, allowing you to build reputation by working for an ally. All of these are intended to make it so that even if you are grinding reputation with Organisation X for weeks, it should stay interesting and engaging. You would be earning reputation for things that you would already be wanting to do. Has there been any thought or plans to add profession-based contracts to Star Citizen? Yes, they will be adding profession-specific missions, the first of which will likely be cargo hauling, being paid to transport a set existing cargo for a company from one place to another. The idea for other professions, say exploration, might be to find new celestial bodies or new locations, etc. But yes, as they refactor the cargo system as a whole, they're going to change the current commodity trading such that players can lock in contracts to deliver X amount of cargo type Y to location Z for a guaranteed price per unit. Things of this nature and other professions will fall in line with similar types of missions as they relate to each profession's key gameplay goals. As for profession-specific reputations, just as we have a generic bounty hunter guild, we will have a specific reputation for each profession. This will be a key contributor for when you go to new locations and types of missions you will see there, basically giving you access to a specific org's mission track without doing some of the beginner missions. Will we be able to bribe our way to better reputations? Yes, in some cases and circumstances. Some org and some contracts will have interactions where you could normally act in X way because your reputation is below X threshold, but they might temporarily overlook reputation if you immediately give them something. Common example, slipping a bouncer some money to get into a club. There are also plans to gain reputation by bringing an org or contact something that they like, though it should be something more gameplay interesting than just money. It sounds like you're going to have Stardew Valley gifting. You go up to Miles Eckhart and bring him the severed head of his enemy. That sort of thing. How will reputation work for things like hauling contracts? Will there be conditions like how fast the goods are delivered, are they damaged, that sort of stuff. They're definitely going to be adding levels of success to missions wherever possible. These may be advertised or hidden from the player. They want to try variants of time-sensitive delivery missions where players are able to deliver as much cargo as possible, gambling that they can load, travel, and unload in time. The more you deliver, the bigger reward you'd get in UEC and rep. What will happen when we have hundreds of quest givers and companies? How will we keep track? They're planning a reputation app to keep track of everything. You'll be able to filter all of this stuff as well. What kind of rewards are planned that are not simply access to more missions or more payout? Their reward system in general is something that they want to evolve as they move forward. They're going to have org perks and benefits that sort of expand out, and you're going to get a multitude of things. You may see lower expedite fees for ships, discounts at shops, hiring extra workers to repair ships, which will ultimately take time, resources, and people, etc. Free landing services at location X, ship rental time extensions or reductions in prices, access to items gated at reputation levels at stores, refining job priority, free upgrades at refineries for what method is used to refine goods. And they'll also be working out more potentially in the future. Will you be able to hack or hide your reputation? They like the idea, but it's not being heavily planned out or anything yet. What kind of non-combat organisations will we see and be able to do missions for? They're working on a wide breadth of organisations to cover things like roadside assistance, food delivery companies. The basic idea is that they will have lots of smaller local companies that service a planetary system, medium companies that service an entire solar system, and large companies that will serve multiple star systems. If I'm a bounty hunter, but I want to move what bounty hunter into organisation that I'm working for, like from Hurston to Crusader, security, will I have to start at the bottom of the ladder again? So it is going to depend on the subset of missions and exactly what you are changing from and to. But, for example, there is Global Bounty Hunters Guild reputation. So when you go to a new area, well, you've still got Global Bounty Hunters Guild rep. So you wouldn't start necessarily at the bottom of the rung for Crusader bounty hunting missions if you had already done a load of them in the Hurston area. Basically allowing you to bypass lower level ranks quite quickly is the idea there, but not entirely sort of cut out on gameplay. Will you be able to level up lawful rep and unlawful rep at the same time, pirates versus bounty hunters, or will one diminish the other? With the ally and rivalry system, they want to have it so that you need to make decisions regarding who you want to earn reputation with. Working for an organisation's rival will impact your standing with the other group. Do you lose reputation over time by not engaging with a certain faction? Yes, there is decay built into their system, and it sort of tries to work its way back to zero. So you can have negative rep or positive rep, and it will try and make its way back to zero. The idea there is even if you sort of like have a terrible reputation or an amazing reputation, it will sort of over time get back to normal. Are we going to see more orgs and factions soon? Yes, they're planning to expand out more mission types and organisations. What's in game now is the first steps of that. The older contracts, they're going to be brought into the new system, and we're going to start to see more and more and more orgs in the future. And they're not going to wait for them all to be done or anything like that. They're going to do it iteratively and, I suppose, relatively slowly. Are missions going to be reputation filtered? Their current thinking is that you will only see the missions that you are eligible for, or close to being eligible for. This will provide players with a glimpse to missions available just beyond their current standing, for instance. Will reputations and missions become interconnected? Yes, there is a rudimentary version of enemies and ally system in the game right now, but it isn't driving much content yet. You'll see a bit of it with bounty hunting guilds gaining reputation when you do bounty hunting missions for other affiliated orgs, but they have plans to expand upon that system heavily. Boom! That's it! The reputation system AMA. There's some pretty good stuff in there. I am looking forward to missions expanding out. It's super important to have tangible progression-based gameplay, and this genuinely sort of adds to that and is, well, one of the core features of progression, I suppose, especially when Star Citizen doesn't have an XP leveling system sort of thing. It is about your assets, your wealth, your ability that you have personally at knowing how the game works and how good you are skill-wise. But reputation is one of those other genuinely major things that you will need to manage and, well, I suppose grind for. But what do you think? Are you excited for reputation system sort of being slowly iterated and put into the game? Do you want a particular sort of a mission or job role to get put in the game in the near future? Like, this is the one that I want to see. Are you looking forward to fighting the Nine Tails and murdering all the pirates, or do you want to have best reputation in the world with pirates? Who would you befriend and who do you hate? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Oh, what's this? I just found all your search history online. You filthy boy, buying spaceships and going on Ship Hub. Zin, show a picture of a sexy ship or something. You should have used NordVPN. It's a VPN, obviously, and it has my seal of approval because I shill for them. Use the links below to get a discount and help protect your data, identity, privacy, and to help with online accessibility. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For May, it's for a Crusader Hercules Starlifter. It's a big boy cargo and ground vehicle transport ship that you can expect to be added to the game by the end of the month. Just comment on any of my videos made during the month to be in for a chance of winning that. Thank you so much to my channel members who have pressed the join button below my videos and my Patreons as well. Going the extra mile really, really helps the channel. Say thanks for helping the channel, Zin.
Thanks for helping the channel, Zin.
Consider becoming a channel member or Patreon as well, and maybe you'll get some poorly photoshopped naughty spaceship shots. Oh, saucy. Thanks for watching and all your support.